Hey, and welcome back to the channel. It's TheSketchMonkey here. There are some big news in the truck world because Ford, as you know, just revealed the new F-150 last night, and it is a very subtle upgrade from the previous model. And what we're going to do in this video is we're going to talk about some of the new spec and tech of the Ford F-150, and then of course talk about this design. What really changed going from the 2020 model, and also I want to do a tiny little tweak on the front fascia to separate it a little bit more from the competition, specifically the GMC Sierra. So with that said, let's jump into the video. The all-new Ford F-150 is built around a steel frame with a high-strength, military-grade aluminum body. Although it might not look like it, this is a completely new F-150 where every panel of the truck and the exterior has been redesigned. The biggest visual change is up front with the updated headlamp design, of course, a new power dome hood, and wrap around bumpers. It's a very conservative design, which I can sort of understand because it's the most important model in Ford's lineup and they want the customers to already be familiar with the truck even though it's a brand new one. Not taking any bold design risks here. It's basically the complete opposite to what Tesla did with the Cybertruck. But at the same time, you have to think of it like this. Tesla doesn't have a history to live up to, specifically when it comes to trucks. And Ford, however, has a lot of pressure of getting it right, just like they have for the past 43 years since they introduced the F-Series. Looking closer at the design, we have higher front fenders, a tucked-in midsection, and the larger diameter tires pulled out 3/4 of an inch to create a strong, more powerful stance. And you have a lot of choices when it comes to this new Ford F-150. You have 13 different wheel designs, 11 different grills depending on the trim. So building and speccing your own will probably take an afternoon or so unless you're 100% sure of what it is you want. Although the updates are subtle here, this is still my personal favorite truck design, and I'm going to show you why a little later in this video when we go over the fun part, which is of course the design. I'm also going to redesign it just a little bit and show you what Ford could have played around with design-wise while still keeping it proper F-150. The F-150 introduces an all-new 12-inch center screen which comes standard on XLT High Series and above. This makes it possible to control multiple functions at the same time, such as navigation, music, or other truck features. An 8-inch touchscreen is standard on XL and XLT, and this means no matter what trim level you choose, every customer will get a touchscreen functionality and a high-resolution backup camera. You also have the option of adding a fully digital 12-inch gauge cluster, and this is also a first ever on the F-150. Personally, I really like the interior of the F-150 because of its simplicity even on higher trim levels. It's easy to understand the layout and the materials on the higher trim level specifically. They just look gorgeous. With that said, let's have a look now at the 2021 model here and compare it to the 2020 and see where they actually made the changes in the front. And then I'm going to show you side by side, compare it to the GMC Sierra, so you can see kind of where they went away from the Ford brand in my opinion and closer, and it's starting to feel like all the trucks are slowly starting to melt together when it comes to design. And this is not only something that has to do with trucks, it just feels like that's kind of a trend right now, that all cars should have very similar graphics in the front. So with that said, I want to try and separate the F-150 more and play around with the graphics in the front to have it be even more of a proper F-Series truck. Alright, so here we have the 2020, or this year's, the outgoing model F-150, and this is a very handsome looking truck in my opinion. I really like the simplicity and the structured vibe of the front fascia and the graphics here, although it gets a little bit complicated if you look in this area and all these LEDs, and you even have two different angles there, and it goes down like this. And it gets a little bit messy, a little bit blingy, if you want to call it that. So let's have a look at the 2021 model right here, and let's see what they actually changed in the front. We still have the basic framing of the face is still there. And what I mean by that is we still have this framing of all of the graphics that sits inside the front fascia, and this is the outline for that graphics, and this is the same up here. You can see that it goes down here and up and then continues and frames the whole graphic part of the car. But where they changed the graphics and where they changed the design here more specifically is they simplified the headlights even more, coming from this version up to this point right here, and they created this single C shape like that on both sides. So when you look at it from a straight front view, it actually looks like it goes straight down 90 degrees. You can't really see this angle here looking at it from a straight front view, and that looks very, very cool. Now the thing is, I wish you couldn't see this angle when you look at it from this view either. What I want to do is to create more of a really 90 degree angle like that, and then this LED goes into the bumper 90 degrees like this, and that's what I'm gonna redesign in this video just in a moment here, because if you have it like it is right now, to me this just looks too much like a GMC Sierra, which you can see right here. Let's bring that up so you can see that these two are very, very similar, and I think it's way too similar. It needs to have some separation from the GMC. The only thing that separates these two right now graphically is this little part down here on the GMC. You have it sticking out like this and really creating a C shape, while here you have it ending at this point, so you don't have the lower bar of LEDs like right there. But other than that, you see that the angle of this is still the same as the GMC Sierra. It's just too similar. Even though this is a little bit smaller than the F-150, we still need to separate the brands more, and we need to do something about that. So what I want to do, since Ford F-150 is already such a simplistic graphical design, and just design in general, the proportions, everything, it isn't overstyled in any way. So why not take that philosophy a step further and even simplify this part even more than what it is right now? And once we've done that, we might even go crazy today and have some fun and add some sort of lift kit to the F-150 just to have some fun and see how that is going to turn out. So with that said, let's get into the redesign. Let's see how it's going to turn out. So there we have it, guys. That's my tiny redesign of the 2021 Ford F-150. I like this design the best among the current trucks because of its simplicity, and I think it's a good thing that they went back with the graphics in the front of the 2021 compared to the 2020 model. They made the running lights a lot simpler, and I really like that it goes into the bumper and creates this big C shape compared to this GMC Sierra, which has a more of a tiny C in just the top half of the front fascia. But still, I wanted to simplify it even more because I think, as I've said before, I think that's going to be the future of car design. We're going to have very simple graphics in very simple geometries, but these graphics are going to be very unique to each specific brand. So each specific brand are going to have some very unique graphics in the front and in the rear. It's a little bit tough to do in the rear on a truck because it's all about functionality, so you can't really mess around with the taillights too much. You basically just need some sort of LED light in the rear to make it functional and legal. The rest just has to do with the tailgate and everything working properly in the rear. But still, in the front of every truck, we can still have a lot of fun and create a very strong identity for each separate brand. I hope you enjoyed this video, and since you're here, it's the end of the video. You're still here. My guess is that you probably did enjoy it, so make sure you hit that thumbs up. It really means a lot to me and to the YouTube algorithm as well, which is just fantastic. Thanks for watching, take care, and I will see you in the next video.